Come in. Just take a seat. I'll be with you in a moment. Excellent. Okay, hi. My name's Miss Noir. Okay, I'll be your dissertation tutor for this semester. And your name is? Okay. Okay, we're just going to be spending quite a lot of time working together, you and I. Okay, I'm going to be your dissertation tutor. So the intention is that on top of the amount of time you're spending with your lectures on a weekly basis, okay, we'll be having a number of sessions, probably 2 to 3 sessions a week, where we'll sit down and look at your dissertation ideas, particularly how those are being applied and how your research is coming along. Okay? So, with that in mind, I just want to get a bit of a background from you about what you've been studying in years 1 and year 2 so far, and how we're going to be able to sort of make a decision on dissertation. Okay? So you may have some firm ideas of what you want to do already, but just for now let's recap on what you've covered, and then we'll take it from there. Okay? And then we'll see if you've got some firm ideas, or perhaps we need to talk through, we'll try and work on things. Okay? Fantastic. So, your first year, what was your sort of main area of study for your first year? Okay. So that was Professor McNeil's class. Okay. Okay, great. So Roman history. And how did you get on with the Roman history studies? Okay. Yeah, it's quite well divorced. Any particular areas of interest that you were... Okay. So, latter part of Roman Empire breakup. Okay, heading towards East and Western. Okay, understood. Perfect. And did you take that further into the Byzantium era? No, okay. Any interest in pursuing that? Okay. Okay. Mainly expansion, Trido-Germanian, the contraction. Okay, I understand. Right. And then year 1, semester 2. Okay. Medieval. Excellent. So medieval history, and that was, if I recall correctly 2 years ago, that was quite sort of northern Western European focused. Yes, okay. High Middle Ages, understand. Good. And any particular interest in that era? Anything that stood out to you? Okay. And you continued that into year 2? Ah, perfect. So you extended into the Tudors and Stuarts in year 2? Lovely, thanks for that. Okay, so you went from quite European focused Middle Ages, and then year 2 centred on to Tudors and Stuart monarchs, UK. Okay. Excellent. And any particular interest for you on that? Oh, good. It's a favourite of mine, actually. Oh, it's something I'm really keen on. Good stuff. That's lovely. And then second half of year 2. Semester 2, what were you basing on? Oh, okay, wow. Bit of a jump there. So Second World War. Okay. Any focus there, or 39 to 45? 46, okay. And your long essay format prep would have been on Second World War, okay. And what were you studying there? Okay, propaganda. Any particular focus? Okay, so Allied. Allied propaganda. And what was that based on? So was that propaganda used in Germany or against the Axis, or was it propaganda? Okay, so it's home. I understand, okay. So home propaganda and the Allied. And you studied, oh, that's quite interesting. So you studied periodicals, okay. Any particulars? Boys' Own and Girls' Own. So Boys' Own magazine and Girls' Own magazine. So you were focusing on propaganda aimed at the youth. Okay, excellent. Where did you get hold of the... Oh really? Oh no, I love it down there. No, it's a fantastic place to go. The atmosphere, there's nothing really quite like it. No, I really do love it down there. The Bodleian's something... It's something a little bit different, isn't it? Perfect. Okay, well I'm glad you enjoyed it there as well. It's a very studious environment. It's good for the cells. Okay. And so, that takes us up to most of those. Did you have any particular thoughts on something you wanted to study for your dissertation? Okay. So between the two. Well, there's not a lot of overlap there, I have to say. So you're thinking World War II or Middle Ages? They were the two areas that really stood out for you. Okay. And obviously World War II would mean studying under Hardinge. Okay. It's quite a demanding course. Okay. So your thoughts are... Let's talk about the Middle Ages a little bit. Okay. So if you're leaning in that direction, any particular area you wanted to study? It's quite a wide period. Okay, understood. Great. Okay. So more 14th, 15th century. Okay. And do you need any reading material to be able to get more in depth on those subjects? Okay. I think I have some. Let's have a look. Yes. Give me 1 second. I have over here. Yes. So this is a good book. This is Medieval England by Colin Platt. So this is what I would call a very good overall guide to England in the medieval period. I thoroughly recommend this one. It's quite focused on the environment, so it's good background information. Okay, well worth having a read of this. It talks quite a lot about the shrinking, the setback, following the economic growth of the previous periods. And it does go into some quite good details on things like settlement traditions, so Anglo-Norman settlements. Okay, so it's not it's quite a light book to read, a good introduction to this area. So it's well worth taking a look at. And it talks obviously about, it's got some nice sort of stuff going on here as well, which is quite, like I said, it's quite picture heavy, it's quite well broken up. It's not something that's going to be too dense a read. And in particular what it does a really good job of is it gives you a good understanding of the lives of the people who are living at the period, okay? So it's not purely based on just the sort of raw facts. It talks more about the lives of the people who lived in the period, the architecture, how that was actually, gave a really good understanding of how people lived within that period. Okay, well we'll take a look at this book. Good stuff. You haven't read this already? No? Excellent. Well we'll take a look at. I'll leave this one here for you, okay? So we can come back to that one, okay? And I've got another book here as well. Where is this? Is it under this pile? Okay, yes, bit broader focused on Europe. So here we have Europe in the 14th and 15th centuries. So this is again very much worth looking at. It's my copy, but you can borrow it to have a look through. Again, this is a very, very comprehensive book. So this is going to be an excellent source and resource material book. Okay, well worth taking a good look at this one. It covers all of Europe, 14th and 15th centuries, gives you a lot of that background that you're looking for, okay, and will certainly help you with making decisions if you wanted to specialise in a certain area, because it's going to cover an awful lot of Europe. It's going to cover Bohemia, obviously the UK, France, Spain. It's really going to get into quite a diverse geography, and if you then decide that you want to focus on a particular area, this is one book that will allow you to, let's say, get exposure to a number of different areas. Okay? Well, obviously for today's meeting we don't have to make any decisions. We've got a couple of weeks before we have to make a decision on what your actual dissertation will be. Did you have any particular subject titles you were thinking about? Anything you had an eye on in the medieval period? Okay. So nothing really stands out to you at the moment as a subject matter. Obviously for your dissertation, it's much better if things are more focused. A wide dissertation can tend to, let's say, can have far too much in the way of variance and variety that can be introduced. It's much better if you can focus in on a relatively narrow area but go deep. Okay? Better to go deep and narrow than wide and shallow. Okay? So I'll give you these two. You can have a look at those. Perfect. Great. And the other subject or the area you thought you had some interest was World War II. So you did your long form essay. Okay, yes, on those periodicals. And any particular area of World War II that sort of stood out to you? Okay. Okay, interesting. So did you enjoy the work you did on the propaganda side? It might be interesting to think about something from an opposing position. Okay. I know. Propaganda is like spying. Propaganda, each side views its own propaganda and its own spies as heroic, wonderful things. But the other side is is sneaky, and yeah, it's interesting from that perspective. Each side views the other as devious in some way, but it's an exercise we're both engaged in. Okay, let me have a little look, see if I can find something that relates to early source material for World War II. Okay, so give me 1 second. Right. Yes. It's a good one again. It's interesting. Where is my copy? No, I think we're going to have to miss that one out. Okay. Unfortunately, the other book I was thinking of, I've actually loaned it out to someone already, but I still have this one. It's by Parker. Okay, it's a short history of the Second World War. Now, this book is pretty good for the economic perspective. Typically, facts, figures, lots of good stuff in here, tables, etc., which is good, useful reference material. But it does cover, let's say, a lot of the sort of home economies, and in particular it covers some of the home aspects of what was being engaged in at the time. Now, as well as this particular book, I'd also recommend, because you were looking at propaganda, I might consider lending you something in relation to local history. If you want to have a look, I'll just have a look, see if I can find something on local history. Okay. Okay. Yes. Okay, we'll do this one. So this is about local history in England specifically. So not Europe focused, but very much England focused. Now, what this does cover, it's only one chapter you probably need to have a look at here in relation to the Second World War, where it covers local history in the Second World War. And this focuses very much on the lives of people, so this is going to have much more in relation to some of the home front type activity, okay, home guard, and particularly with relation to sort of drives at home, war effort type drives, how it influenced and affected the lives of people who lived within the UK. Now, if you enjoyed the propaganda side from the, let's say, the English perspective internally, focusing on children, obviously that's a demographic that wasn't particularly, let's say, isn't particularly well addressed. It's a nice sort of open area to look into. Might be worth having a think about that. I think there's more that you could be able to do to expand on that. Certainly you're going to find that most of the Second World War activity is related very specifically to the battles, to campaigns, to the various operations, etc. That's really where most people are spending their time, their effort. There's a little bit of, it's sort of quieter history. It's a little bit more subdued in its application. And that is really what you call the home front activity. Now in the UK, a lot of stuff has been focused on with, you know, the operation at home and the way in which people were surviving. One thing that hasn't been particularly well addressed is that same perspective within other countries within Europe at the time. And that, I think there's a little bit there that could be dug into. You might find material a little bit harder to come by than you would if it was obviously based on England. Okay, lovely. So let's just make a note of those. I'll just make a note of these books that we're lending to you. So give me 1 moment. Okay, so we've got local history, Hoskins. We have Second World War, Parker. We have Europe, 14th, 15th. by Hay, and we have medieval England, Platt. Great. So, once you've had a bit of time to read through these, okay, so obviously don't read everything in every book, but I'm going to, let's say, come back here in a week's time, and I think by that time we really should have focused on a period. So rather than looking at medieval or Second World War, so if we can focus on a period by next week at the latest, and get some idea of 2 or 3 potential wide topic areas that you want to get involved in, and think about basing your dissertation in. It's not a good idea at this stage to jump straight into specific titles or specific people, for example, you might want to address. The best thing to do at this stage is to try to start narrowing down and see if a title or a subject actually presents itself. Excellent. So, our next meeting, we'll do a meeting next week, okay? And let's set up for next week 2 meetings. So, let's do same time next week, is that okay with you? Right. And one later in the week, let's say Thursday. How is 2 p.m. just after lunch? That's clear? Okay. Okay, so we sent time next week, 1 hour, and Friday 2 p.m. Let's pencil those in as recurring meetings for now. Okay. And we will come back and see how that goes. If there's any clashes, please do let me know. I will basically leave my timetable outside my office. So whenever you come across something, if you're passing by, do check the timetable, just make sure everything's still going forward. If there's any cancellations, I'll leave something outside the office. We'll try and get something set up to email a updated schedule as well, but best place is outside the office. Okay. Now, is there anything you wanted to ask me for today? Okay. No, so I've been here for only a couple of years now. Yeah, so I am my background was very much in the Tudor Stuart period. Yeah, so I did my dissertation on James I. Well, James I and Charles I. Well, let's wait for you to decide on your dissertation, and then we can talk about what I did later. Do I give you any ideas? Okay. Anything else you wanted to ask? No? Good. Great stuff. Okay. Well, thank you for joining here today. Good to see you coming to the class. And we're going to have to work pretty closely, okay, as we move forward. You've got roughly 13 weeks to get most of this done. Now, just to be clear, I'm not a big fan of this dissertation process dragging on too long, okay? So I want to try and make sure we make good progress as soon as we possibly can. I'm not a fan of things stretching over, okay? I'll try and get things done, get this out of the way, and you can concentrate on your exams for semester 2. Perfect. And just so we're clear, your dissertation counts for a full module, okay? Perfect. thank you for coming in today. I'll see you next week. And in the meantime, happy reading. I shall give you these. Okay. So, just leave these over here. You can grab those on your way out, okay? And if there's anything else you need in the meantime, if I'm in the office, you can pop around and just knock on the door. Otherwise, leave a note outside the office and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Lovely. Well, good to meet you and look forward to working with you. Okay, goodbye.